Okay, my question is, I have been trouble with my thoughts. The thoughts get in
Yes.
the way, and I just can't. I try to control them. I try not to think, and I don't know if I have to put the welcome mat for my thoughts as well, together with the pain. And I also had the coronavirus. So what should I do with my thoughts?
Okay. Well, the first thing is you have the coronavirus now, or you have had it and
I've
know that you
had
had
it.
it?
I've
Yeah.
had it.
And so how are
Yes.
you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. But on the first day of our meditations together, I was in the middle of the uh, worst period, and I couldn't breathe. I had really trouble for that. But you helped me. You helped me a lot. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for tuning in this way and continually coming back. So I think the basic answer to your question is, as long as you're trying to control your thoughts, you're basically creating a hell realm for yourself, because thoughts, you just cannot control them. They're like a waterfall, and they will just go over the edge, and the mind will just continue to cascade one thing after another after another. If you put out the welcome mat that you mentioned, and just let them come and go like clouds in the sky, for instance, and notice how personally you take the content of the thoughts and how much you might emotionally react to them and so forth. And the you that's noticing that is awareness, is pure awareness. And the you that's noticing that will be able to see that you have a choice as to whether to be caught up in them as much as you are. Now, this does involve a certain kind of um, cultivation or practice over time. So if you're new to the practice, or even if you're not, look, having the coronavirus, I mean, you know, it's enormous. So it's not surprising that your mind will be all over the place. But what's beautiful is that even though you've been sick and had trouble breathing and everything else, that you've actually found a way to connect with dimensions of your own life that most people never find in their lives. And these dimensions have everything to do with health and healing. So I would say that the most important thing to do is to make friends with those thoughts. They're all trying to sort of keep you safe or make sense of an insane world. But your awareness is a more reliable form of intelligence than your stressed out thinking. And so the more you learn how to, rest in awareness or inhabit the field of awareness, the more you don't have to stop the waterfall or the cascading mind, but you can learn how to sort of drop back behind it, and maybe you'll find a little cave there where it's actually fairly dry out of the waterfall, and even for one in breath or one out breath, just rest in it. Then, of course, you'll get carried away by the waterfall. Every time you notice it, try to come back and just see if by exercising that muscle over days, weeks, months, and years, it doesn't actually help an enormous amount.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer. And also, I have a small question about the meditation tapes you had for the UMass Medical
Sure,
Center.
sure.
Is it true that the meditation 45 minutes, it's because of the tape, the duration of those tapes back in the 80s, that they have 1 hour and a half?
No, no, no. Yeah, well, when I first made the guided meditations for the MBSR clinic at the UMass Medical Center, I wanted them to be 45 minutes. That's why I got tapes that were 45 minutes long before
Okay.
there were CDs or anything. It wasn't like, oh, I have to make a 45-minute one because that's how
Okay.
long the tape is.
Okay, that's what I
No,
wanted
and
to
I'll tell
know.
you
Thank
why.
you.
It's a great question. I'll tell you why I made them 45 minutes. It's basically so that people could experience exactly what your question was. If it was just 15 or 20 minutes, people could often feel like, oh, I feel so relaxed. It's also wonderful. But if it's 45 minutes, then your body starts to hurt, your mind starts to go crazy, you start to get impatient. And that's where the rubber really meets the road in terms of the practice. So it's not like you have to practice for 45 minutes, but in the hospital like that, it was very important with people with serious long-term chronic medical conditions and lots of chronic pain, that it be long enough to actually enter into the pain and the suffering and learn how to navigate that domain of one's life.
Yes, I've been practicing it because I have neuropathic pain. I have facial trigeminal pain.
Trigeminal
I don't know.
neuralgia.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah, I'm
have this.
so sorry to hear that.
I'm practicing for 6 months now with your help.
I'm glad to
And
hear that. I'm honored to hear
thank you
that.
so much.
And
Thank you so
the
much
important
again.
message is don't give up. This is for life. So it might say like 6 months, I haven't got enough good results or whatever. You give up and try something else. But
I won't
the
give up.
I'm glad you're not going to give up. I mean, I still know people who took my first class in MBSR in 1979 and 1980 in those early years, and they're still
It's so
practicing.
touching to watch the documentary made on that. It's
Oh,
touching. It's really
I'm glad
touching.
you're into it. If all
Thank you
goes
so
well
much.
and we get back to air travel, I've been getting so many requests to come to Brazil that I've actually agreed to
Yes,
come in
please.
June of next year to a big mindfulness conference in Sao Paulo.
Please
So
do. Thank
maybe
you
I'll
so
see you
much. I
there.
won't take you more of your time because
No
other people
worries.
have questions. Thank you so much.